Okay, so for this one I don't actually have a first person recording of it. I just haven't been recording some of my games recently, but I do have the replay for it, so hopefully we can use that and it'll still be useful. I'll just turn on the scoreboard real quick and maybe take off the time controls. So Olaf versus Camille, nothing super special. Jungle matchups are not too dissimilar. They both have a leap and CC. Jax has a bit more damage, Johnny's a bit tankier. Johnny's probably the better ganker overall, but it's not by an extreme margin or anything. Mid matchup is a bit Cassidy favored in terms of how it affects my lane, because Cassidy will roam, Lux is probably never going to roam. And Cassidy also has TP, so that's something else to watch out for. Something about this game specifically that was quite good, but not as common for solo queue, is that the first 10-15 minutes there wasn't much trading in terms of kills. There was maybe 3 kills in that time period in the whole time, which is really unusual for solo queue, especially at this level of play. Like, this isn't Challenger, and even in Challenger I think that would be generally unusual at low Challenger. At least in OS, maybe it's different on other servers, but yeah, so let's hop over to my lane now that things are actually starting to get going. I've gone the usual corrupting potion start. I've gone flash and airy here. Let me just talk about that real quick while we note that Camille has Doran's shield and a potion. So flash, airy, airy I've started to favor more on Olaf. It just has better early uptime, and early uptime is really important to improve your poke. Like, yeah, Comet does more damage when it lands, but you can only land it maybe 1/3 as frequently. So right there I started a deep trade. You know, just spam Q, spam auto attacks, keep hitting her, and then as the trade finishes, one more Q. In terms of health, it came out roughly even, except she has 1 potion and I have 3 charges of corrupting potion, and since I have the minion wave control, I can also heal off minions using W. So overall the trade was heavily advantageous to me. And now I'm just going down and putting a fairly deep ward onto Jax. I know that Camille can't force unless Jax is quite nearby, otherwise he's just probably gonna like die to me. But if Jax is nearby, then they can probably 1v2 me, because I don't have the ability to survive like that much CC if they really commit for it. But then so Johnny finds Jax. I walk down just to ensure that he doesn't get out. He flashes out and still dies. So sometimes I wouldn't have helped there. It really depends how the lane is going. I felt that in this case I was far enough ahead that I could afford to take a small loss to, you know, just guarantee that that kill went through. And then it just goes back to harassing with Q, and then E when possible. So your harass is much better than hers, and obviously with Jax dead, there's no chance that someone can bail her out of this in the short term. So it's just constant Q harass on my part, and I've just used my last corrupting potion charge. I have a 6 CS advantage, but like a massive health advantage. He has a small mana advantage, but it's not a big deal. So as you can see, again, just constant Q harass. And just here I back off because I don't know the location of Jax. Maybe I should actually toggle the vision to red side so that you can see that more easily. Right as I said that, I took a really sketchy trade. So if Jax was actually there, I probably would have died. Fortunately he wasn't. And that became pretty clear to me that Jax wasn't there because Camille wasn't committing for it. She was holding back just a little bit. She was hesitating slightly too much for Jax to probably be there. There was still a chance he could have been there, but probably not. So I clear out the wave, use W to get some health back. And Camille backs in Fog of War and then TP's back into lane. I go back with just under 1,000 gold, and I decide to buy Doran's Blade and a Ruby Crystal. And I do that because I see that her buy is just a longsword. And my biggest concern at this stage is I want to keep trading well, I keep harassing her efficiently, which you need AD for, but I also don't want to die to an all-in, especially on a Jax gank. So to make sure I have less chance of dying, I go for the Ruby Crystal instead of going Longsword. I steer clear of Cull, as it sort of suffers from the same problem as the Longsword in this situation. I just want max health so that I don't die to an all-in. And that AD will give me a bit of extra trading power, a bit of extra harassing power. You can see, like, my X was still on the ground. It hadn't even finished despawning, and I'm already throwing another one. Just really getting that constant harass in. And because I have control of the lane, because I have more health, because I've been harassing her, I also maintain control of the river bush. So her vision is really poor. And the only way for her to get out of this situation is for Jax to help her. Or for me to mess up, or for her to outplay me. Fortunately for me, Sodrani's here instead of Jax. Camille actually makes a good play here. She actually nullified Sodrani's stun, because Sodrani's stun travels through the air. And Camille just used her ult to negate it, and then she flashed out. And she stays alive, which was quite good on her part. Still, for me, that's not a bad outcome. It's certainly not the outcome I would have wanted. But we forced Camille back when she doesn't have TP. We've burned her flash, we've burned her ult. And I didn't burn my flash, or my ult, or much health, or much mana. So I'm still in a pretty good position for the lane. And we're just wallowing away on these minions. Missed the last hit there, but no big deal. I might look to recall here. Yep. So I have just shy of 800 gold. I'm pretty sure I go back and buy Kindle Gem boots. Yep, Kindle Gem boots. So that gives me, oh, I noticed she kills my ward, so you can see me just walk back and pick up another ward. So I want to maintain ward control there, if I can. So Kindle Gem boots will mean I can just all-in her and kill her. CDR from the health, like from the Ruby Crystal, it only gives you another, like, what, 50 health? Right? Yeah, 50 health. But the 10% CDR is really good for chasing down with axe spam. And obviously boots mobility, also really good for chasing down. But at the same time, the boots also helps me run away from a gank or anything. So I have a pretty significant advantage in my trading potential. So I can just run her down, force her completely off the wave, and still come out on top. And then again, once I have wave control, I can just use W to heal off minions if I want to. And Sodrani's making a return visit. She actually used her control ward. And that does mean I can't really use mine, because there's not really anything else to control ward. There's not much point control warding here because we have such good control of our side of the map, because I have really good lane control. Lux has a bit of lane control there, and Sodrani's ahead of Jax, so they're not really crossing the river. It's really unlikely that Jax would get there, and there's also no wards in the tri-bush because Camille's constantly being pushed in, because she can't deal with my harass, and so I'm just pushing her off the wave. I'm not actually sure who's making those pings. Possibly Camille and Jax are worried about Sodrani. So while not much is happening, let's just take a quick look at the other lanes. The bot lane is pretty even. Both turrets have taken nearly no damage. The CS is roughly even. Mid's roughly even, except we have a kill. I think that was the Jax kill. Yeah, the Jax kill from earlier when he was down here. I'm just trying to whittle Camille down. If I can whittle her down enough, it means that Jax can't afford to gank me, because Camille will be too low. Camille will die if she fights me even with Jax's help. So just constantly using Q and E. Unfortunately, missed a Q there. That was actually pretty pivotal in making sure that the lane went the way I wanted it to. Fortunately for me, Jax appears over here. And this fight goes very well for us. And since Jax appears, it doesn't matter that I missed that Q. If I miss the Q and Jax is there, that's actually enough that they can fight me, because I've taken quite a bit of damage trading aggressively onto Camille. But again, whenever Jax appears, it means that I'm super safe to just play really aggressive, as long as Caston's also accounted for, which he was. Bot lane has a bit of a scuffle, Caston TP's in, but I don't think much happens in the end. So this stage I have a 30 CS advantage, slightly less than that because she'll pick up some of this wave. But you can see I'm still just constantly whittling her down. She can't take CS uncontested. I'm using the turret's terrain to force her to, stand here or stand here, and that just means that I can more easily land my Q. Just keep that harass up and make her life pretty miserable. Just using W to sustain off the wave, getting that last hit on the Q. Jax is potentially around, but Camille's so low that if they try and force something, she's probably just gonna die. I missed a Q there, but no big deal, Camille's so low. Since she can't fight me, I again just use W to sustain off the wave. And my Doran's Blade also gives me a tiny bit of lifesteal. And that helps me out a little bit as well. Not too much in the short term, but like, if you do that wave after wave, you're going to get back a few hundred health, which is a reasonable amount of health to get back. I'm just turning her off the wave again. She's so low that she can't contest that CS. It would probably kill her to try and last it. And right here, she tries to last it anyway, which is really dumb on her part, so I go in for the kill. I don't have much mana. I let her hit me until her cooldown's time out, and then when I see the opportunity to combo her down, I do so. And I just specifically wanted the ability to combo her with just 2 hits, so that she wouldn't use her ult to lock me in place or nullify my damage or anything like that. So that was a small risk, but it was a calculated risk, and I think on balance it was worth it. And then obviously it did fortunately play out in my favor, but there was a chance it would fail, for sure. So checking in with the lanes once more. Bot is still going basically even. Our turret has taken very little damage, but neither is theirs. Mid lane's starting to become quite Lux favored after that failed 2v2. Like Caston is not missing much CS, but look at that turret damage. And I'm coming back with Phage and Ninja Tabby, and she just has Phage and cloth armor. So I have a very significant advantage over her. I have the Doran's Blade, I have Kindle Gem, and I have Tabi versus Boots and Cloth. So I wanted down to mid lane just to clear that wave out, keep the pressure on this turret, guarantee that the next wave will basically kill it regardless of what anyone does, unless they commit extremely hard to defending it. And then we just go for a kill on Camille with Sodrani. Sodrani ults, I ult for more damage, Camille tries to get out with ult. I flash over the wall to make sure the kill is secured, but Sodrani manages to finish it off. I guess that was red smite coming into play. I come down mid, just again, I want to keep pressure on this Kassadin, make sure he never gets room to breathe. And I asked Sodrani to cover top while I was doing that. You can see I'm just pressuring him off the wave, again, just keeping that pressure up. There wasn't much to accomplish top that I couldn't do by just going mid and then rotating anyway. Camille TP's top, but that's a bad idea because Sodrani and I are both healthy. So I come in, I don't want to kill Camille straight up. I think that's not a good play with Sodrani on low mana, and like I don't have ult. So I just go for the turret first, and then I start chasing down Camille once Camille's out of turret range. Sodrani says that she doesn't want this fight. I think that's a really dumb call because we could definitely take this. And I kept chasing because I expected her to change her mind after seeing how easy the fight was to win, but she doesn't change her mind, so it sucks to be me. I give away a kill to Camille, and Casson gets an assist. But yeah, like again, Casson was so low from this. For my previous rotation mid, I knew he was really low, I knew he hadn't recently bought. Obviously we were literally in combat with Camille, so we could have taken the fight, but oh well. I unfortunately don't have enough money to buy Black Cleaver. I'm on just shy of 900, but you need 950 for the upgrade. So I have to go back empty-handed. I don't actually get any new items. Dual lane is pushing Kassadin around, which is great. They'll probably get the turret soon, because their dual lane has come mid. Sodrani's heading down bot just to secure that turret, which is good. Lux can wave clear mid just fine. We don't know where Camille is, which is sort of a wild card. And then other people start disappearing as well. So I'm like keeping my eye open because everyone sort of disappeared. We see that someone's just cleared this. It looks like a fight's breaking out, so I get ready to GP. Looks like the fight's being committed to because Camille comes in, so I start my teleport. And then focus down the target in front of us. Like, fight together, we're ahead, we don't need to do anything risky or overextend or anything like that. We can just fight the target in front of us and we'll win. And we do. Quick Q into the bush to make sure no one's there. Turns out someone was there. Just chase them down, do a bit more damage, and then cleanly escape before they can do anything about it. So it's just in and out real quick, low risk. So we're significantly healthier than them, and Camille died, and Camille doesn't have TP. So we're in a good position to siege for another wave. There's not like an objective to get to. We can't rotate mid and get that. Dragon's not on the board, so we just stay around for this wave. We've sort of pushed them off again because they were so low and they didn't have Camille. So we just wait for the wave. We go grab the turret, and they can't defend it. And now it's time to reset because we don't have that much health after they've all healed up. And we also have gold to spend and could use some mana, especially on like Ezreal. Oddly, Ezreal backs in like the middle of nowhere in full vision. The two guys above us get into a bit of a fight. We all pop over to help them. I accidentally step on a trap, I didn't realize it was there. And then I just commit to basically whoever's in front of me who I can immediately kill until I see the Caitlyn and Braum are super low. Then I head up and finish them off. And then it's just Jax Kassadin, they're both really low. We finish off Kassadin and we see Jax running away. I don't think we can grab him, so I just start getting vision control. There's not really enough time to efficiently push mid because the wave is over here. The turret's full health, so it's almost definitely not going to die. So next best thing, put down some wards, clear out enemy vision. And then we can go pressure in the area next time we're around. And now it's time to go buy. Just shy of 3k gold, which is really good. That lets me get Black Cleaver and then another like half item. I think I got Drone's Fist. Yeah, Drone's Fist. So my resists aren't that high during my ult, but I do have a good chunk of health. If we take a look at the gold, like look, there's a 2000 gold advantage in top lane, 2000 gold advantage in jungle, 2000 gold advantage in mid. Well, it's pretty even, but top half of the map there's 2000 gold advantage on everyone. And that's partially a CS advantage on the solo lanes. Sodrani has a lot of takedowns, mostly kills. And we also have more global gold because they haven't taken a single turret. But we've taken top lane outer, mid lane outer, bottom lane outer, and bot lane secondary inner, whatever you want to call it. Lane assignments are a little funky. I ended up getting mid, duo went top with Sodrani supporting them, and Lux was covering bot. Now we're sort of grouping up. So Lux comes mid with me, we push it up, and then we start rotating over the top. Now that the mid wave is pushed in and they have to stay there. So as I'm rotating, I just stick a ward down there, let us know when Caitlyn and Braum rotate over. They clear it out, but we also see them rotating, so it serves its purpose. We grab the turret because we out-rotated them and we're also stronger. We get a free kill on Camille. They use everything to disengage, including Cassidy's TP. And we expend basically nothing to get the kill. We came out real healthy with plenty of mana, plenty of cooldowns. And I just want to... I don't remember if I'm trying to get gold or if I'm just trying to heal here. But in any case, I do that. I think they saw me, but everyone else is sort of baiting. So we hop in. And these should be easy kills. One thing I do here is I hardlock on the Caitlyn because I believe I'm the only person who can actually chase her and kill her. And I know of a stopwatch, which comes into play right here. They have a choice, they can stay and they can maybe kill me, or they can leave and they can probably die anyway. Because my team was able to reinforce me, I knew that, so I went for the aggressive rundown on the Caitlyn. And that gives us a free Baron. Unfortunately with this Baron, what you want to do when you're trying to take Baron as quickly as you can is constantly axe side to side. Unfortunately here, Sejuani is like blocking my movement to do that. Like I can never pick up my axe while hitting Baron. So I just sort of gave up and sit still and hit it while kind of half-heartedly doing some Qs when I can. We want to get Infernal Drake. Unfortunately for us, as you're about to find out, they actually have this idea already. They know we've just taken Baron, so they know it's pretty easy to take Infernal Drake from us. So we're all heading down to Infernal Drake on our merry way, and then we're like, oh crap, they actually already took it. How sad. Back to my items, I got to another awkward gold amount. 2000, it's not enough to finish Titanic Hydra. I think it might have been enough to finish Gargoyle Stoneplate, but I felt like I didn't really need the durability just yet, and the damage would be better. So I'm trying to get a little bit more gold and then I just want to recall. Checking that bush just with Q first, much safer, just in case they're doing a cheesy stack. And then once I've checked it, I can just ward it. So I'm going back to buy. I have my 2300. I can buy Titanic Hydra. I buy Titanic Hydra. I have TP, so like this is... I'm perfectly willing to use TP. We don't need to split push here, so I'm willing to use it to purchase items and then group up here. We find an awkward fight. They dive our backline. Fortunately, Janet keeps Ezreal alive just enough, and instead of diving their backline, I help Ezreal out. So again, when you're ahead, there's no need to be really aggressive. There's no need to take risk. You can just do the safest thing possible, which is everyone focus the same target, everyone play defensive, everyone help your carry stay alive. So they only have Caitlyn Braum. If they try to defend, we can barrel them down. They try to defend, so we barrel them down. Our front line's really tanky, so like we can afford to just sit there and take the hits while we kill them off. We kill off Caitlyn. We lose some health doing it, probably more than we should have. I think a lot of that was just hesitation on our backline. Like me and Sejuani were super committed to that at the start. Sejuani even flashed for it, but I think our backline was just a little bit slower on the uptake of that play. In any case, we have 4 people, but I'm kind of low, Janna's kind of low with low mana. So it's not too bad here, but like Sejuani takes a bit more damage there, and she's low mana. So now we're starting to look at just backing. It's a lot safer than trying to force this, because Caitlyn's just respawned as well. So we just back. And then we're about to find out exactly how strong we are. So here I just ult to clear red buff extra fast, because I just want to bail. And I have enough CDR that if I ult, recall and come back, I'm going to have a backup. But then Ezreal's like, doesn't matter. I'm just going to 1v3. So I come over to help him. Jax comes in, but it doesn't matter. Jax is not strong enough to take this fight. So I just ping him so let Ezreal know that I want to kill him. And then we do that. Unfortunately, I can't connect an axe onto Braum, but nonetheless, Ezreal manages to finish him. And that's basically the end of the game. As I switch it back to direct to camera. So that lane was basically won not because we got kills, as I tried to get the penta for Ezreal, but no one else was on board. The lane was basically won off of harassing with lots of Qs and Airy. That means you have health advantage. Once you have health advantage in the lane, you can use W to heal up minions, and Camille can't do the same. And that was amplified by the fact that she had Doran Shield and a health potion, but I had Corrupting Potion, so whenever I made an aggressive trade at the start, and the health ended up roughly even, I had more short-term sustain at my disposal. And whenever you have a short-term health advantage, again, you can just convert that into a longer-term health advantage, because short-term health advantage gives you control of the wave. The only way in that situation where like the tempo of the lane changes is if Jax comes and ganks. Fortunately, I had pretty good ward control, and it helped a lot that Sojourner was helping with that as well. And that meant that there were really limited windows where they could realistically actually kill me without one of them dying. Because when you keep someone really low in the lane, you know, if the jungle ganks, the person's just gonna die anyway. And it's not like you can CC Olaf, so that went really well for me. That's sort of the gist of how the lane should be played. I got a bit of jungle pressure, a bit more than I maybe usually do. I think I got 3 Sojourner visits, and one was just a vision denial, but still 3 Sojourner visits is pretty good. But yeah, the gist of the lane is just harass the crap out of them if they can't harass you back, like Camille. Take Airy so it's even stronger. The flash means you can stay alive if you get ganked early. Make sure you keep vision control, heal off the wave, and you have a winning lane.